Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this actually Saturday session. But because of some reason, it has been preponed by one day. And can I just check that error? Okay, is my voice loud and clear to you guys? Just give me yes in the chat box if I am audible to you. Yes. Okay, very good, very good. Thank you very much for the confirmation. All right. So today we are going to see a case study. So randomly we share certain case studies of various industries so that we get the pulse that every industry wherever we go, the sequence of the DMAC methodology remains the similar. Okay. Obviously, there will be few customization, tweaking is required according to the project, according to the industry, but more or less, if you see certain amount of case studies, you will realize that the flow remains more or less the same, and that gives the confidence to us that we literally can go to any industry. That gives the confidence that we can, we can apply for the job in any industry. Of course, relevant industry will have more weightage, but that's the point, to see various industries case study. So we take, banking case study, insurance case study, IT case study, cricket case study we have seen as well. We have seen oil and gas case study. We have seen the fertilizer company case study. So there are various case studies available, and we also discussed, quite a few times. So today we are going to discuss a case study of IT company. How there is a bug fixing duration, which is the turnaround time to fix the bug in the application of the software. That is something which this case study talks about. Okay. So let me just share my screen. I'll be sharing this case study with you, which you can download from Masterclass archive later. And let me share this. Super. Okay. Now, first of all, thank you very much for, for a very short duration notice. You guys have responded and have joined the session. A lot of people are yet to join, but I can understand, today is not a regular day of the Saturday session, like Saturday session. So, and because of the WhatsApp communication is no more available, so a lot of miscommunication can happen. Anyways, coming back to our case study today. So this case study is reducing software bug fixing lead time from 25 days to 15 days. Okay. So bug is something which is unintended algorithm, which is, which fits inside the regular algorithm or regular software code. And that behaves that, that makes that software or that application behave a little erratically. All right. So this is okay. You are traveling, huh? Wow, fantastic. That's a huge commitment. Thank you very much. So the time duration to fix that bug, earlier the baseline is 25 days from the time the bug is addressed, the bug is identified, till the time the bug is fixed. Okay. And of course there are variation. The average time duration was 25 days, and they wanted to reduce it to 15 days. Okay. So the challenge is the software bug fixing was taking too much of time to complete. And the goal was to fix the bug within 15 days, from 25 days to 15 days. So this would save money, time that could be spent on developing new features. See, fixing the bug is, you can compare that with just like a rework. Fixing a product, fixing a quality defect, fixing a complaint. Okay. So fixing a bug is just like a river. That amount of resources you are putting in fixing the bug, if that bug is not there, then that could have easily be used in developing new feature, ultimately, doing something value added, rather than bug fixing is actually a non-value added activity. It's a rework basically. Okay. So that's the whole idea. So ultimately increasing customer revenue and boosting the team's morale. So if you are doing the same bug fixing again and again, obviously it impacts the morale of the team as well. Now in the define phase, we make the project charter. And if you remember, we have the problem statement. The structure of the problem statement remains absolutely standard. Okay. And I would highly recommend, I use the same structure. Okay, whether it is yellow belt, green belt, black belt, whichever belt project is there, the same structure is very, very useful. Data collected from, August to September, this shows that the current total lead time of the software bug fixing is 25 days. This results into missing milestone by test team and delivery delays to the customer. And of course, delays is equal to customer dissatisfaction. Correct? Because project timeline is very, very important as far as the IT is concerned, right? So this is data collected from. So you should even if this is asked to you at 2 o'clock in the midnight, okay, what is the structure of problem statement? You start saying that data collected from January to December 2025 shows that average customer complaint of product ABC is this, or the total lead time of delivery for this customer is this. So this structure has to be very, what do you say, fit into a subconscious mind. Okay. Then comes the goal statement. Decrease the software bug fixing lead time from 25 days to 15 days by March 2020, whatever is the age or whatever is the year. Then the business case. What is business case? Business case is nothing but how this project is impacting the business. Why this project is important to be fixed right now. Why this problem needs to be fixed right now. What will happen if that is not fixed? Okay. What benefits we are going to get? So lead time improvement for bug fixing will result and cost saving and improved uses of the resources. Okay. Now, if let's say 25 days is taking average to fix one bug. So if you reduce from 25 to 15 days, the remaining 10 days average time duration of all the resources can be utilized, and that can save, first of all, a lot of cost, and that can be improved. That can improvise the resource utilization. Okay. Now, a lead time improvement could translate into monetary benefits because, we will be able to utilize development and testing resources to work and more. So basically, business case talks about why this project is important for the business. What are the business implication? Okay. See, in the problem, what is the difference between problem statement and the business case? Problem statement is very specific towards that problem. Business case is what is the impact overall on the business. Now, it should be drafted as a business language. So you would be talking about, turnover. You would be talking about the brand image of the company, market share. All these things are the business KPIs, right? So you speak in the business KPI language is business case, so that top management should understand that vocabulary. And when it comes to problem statement, you speak a process language. Are you clear the difference between problem statement and business case? A lot of people make mistake in this. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear hai business case problem statement ka difference, right? Very good, very good. Super, super. Yes, problem statement, process level. Business case is business level. Okay, remember this difference. That is the most important thing. Okay, very good, very good. Super. So then the scope, which is also part of project charter, correct? So scope meaning where will you start and where will you end? What is the boundary? All right, what is the first process step and what is the last process step? So what is the in scope? For example, the first process step is fixing the request ticket created by the customer. So yes, area to focus, exactly. So first step is when customer raises the ticket that there is a bug in the software or this application. And the last process step is fix the request ticket by building in the official branch. So built in the official branch. This is the last process. So they have defined like that. So in scope is ticket assignment process, code development process, and out of scope is hardware additions, official build, load delivery. See now what is in scope and out of scope and why it is so important for us to, important for the, what do you say? yeah, for us to understand, because what happens is when it comes to the project charter, it is very important for all the members to understand what is the boundary, where is the focus area we are working, and what is not the focus area. Okay, that's a very, very important. Link wasn't sent on email. It was sent on email as well. Did you receive the email or no? Generally, sometimes email, okay, 8 to 9. So there were two emails sent. 8 to 9 wala separate email was there, and 7 to 8 wala separate email was there. 8 to 9 wala was earlier, and 7 to 8 wala was a little later. Okay, you didn't receive, is it? Okay, let me check. Let me check. All of you didn't receive the email of 7 to 8 wala session? Okay, both email received. Okay. Yeah, we have just started, Deveshji, about, a case study. So let me just quickly touch upon this. So this is the IT industry case study. The objective of studying the case studies are, uh, you know, we study multiple industry case studies so that it gives us the flavor that, okay, with even though the different industries are there, the common DMAC framework remains common, and that gives us the confidence. Okay. So this is a bug fixing lead time reduction from 25 days to 15 days. Okay. That is the project. All right. Now, so the challenge is to software bug fixes. It takes a long time. So from 25 days, they want to reduce it to 15 days. Okay. So in define phase, we have seen problem statement like same, the data collected from, that, right? The structure of the problem statement. So the average lead time is 25 days. And then the goal statement from 25 days to 15 days by March, whatever, 2025, 2026, whatever is the timeline. And then the business case. So what we were discussing about at this point in time, we were discussing about a business case. That business case is the impact on the business. Why this project is important for the business point of view. Okay. The problem statement, we speak the process language. In the business case, we speak the business language. So we use the terminology like brand image of the company, what you can say, the market share of the company. Okay, all these terminologies can be used in the business case because the business people, the management people will understand the same language. Okay, and in this slide we discuss about a scope and in scope and out of scope. Right, the scope is the boundary in which we will focus, and out of scope is where we are not going to focus. Okay. Now, then the timeline. Now, if you remember, I mentioned this earlier as well. Yellow belt projects maximum to be finished within 1 month. Green belt projects generally to be finished maximum by 3 months. And black belt projects generally 4 to 5 months are good enough time for us to, because as you know, we do not work on full time. We work on part time on these kinds of projects. Okay, along with our routine activities, along with our routine job roles, we have to do the projects. Okay, now this for timeline further is broken down into define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And generally, what happens? Let me give you a quick breakup of how you can break down this as well. Now, define phase generally takes, let's say, 2 weeks. Major phase, just for your information, okay? Major phase generally takes, let's say, 4 weeks. Analyze phase, okay, I think, in the green belt I'm talking about. Let me just remove this. So major phase in the green belt also should take, I'm talking about green belt, this one. Analyze phase generally takes 4 weeks. Improve phase generally takes around 3 weeks. And control phase around 1 week. So if you tally this, it becomes 12 weeks, which is approximately 3 months. Okay, this is for the green belt, GB. Okay. Parallelly, you can draw this for black belt as well, similar to this. Analysis phase takes maximum amount of time because it goes deeper into causes, root causes, hypothesis regression, DOE, and all those stuff. That's what it takes a little bit of more time. Implementation also takes a little bit of time. That's why these two phases take more time. Okay. Yes, so this way you can just put your timeline accordingly. Yes, you can just give me the confirmation if you have understood this. Okay, clear hai ye? I'm just giving you a brief time frame so that you can work around it in the near future. Okay. Super. Then the team members. Very good. Now, here, whenever you are Lean Six Sigma certified person, you become a team lead or team leader or team manager or a project leader, whatever you call it as. Okay. So here you can see here title is Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certified candidate. And general time commitment is 40%. What does it 40% meaning? It is expected, let's say this person gives 100% every day in his work, 100% time, let's say, out of which it is expected that leader should focus 40% on the project. Now, this is where you can, this is not what you can say, a hard and fast rule that 40% has to be committed. Some people commit 20%, some people commit 10%, some people commit even more than that as well. Okay, depends. Now, who is sponsor, by the way? Sponsor meaning the person who is providing the resources. This person is a champion of the project. Now, this person champion meaning he is from the top management. Okay, you can see here he's a director, spends 15%. Now, what is the role of the champion? Champion's role is to provide the resources, provide the support, provide the what you can say, any roadblock comes, then champion's role is to remove that roadblock. Okay, that is the role of a champion. And then the team members from various stakeholders. Okay, various stakeholder. You remember stakeholder management? Stakeholder are the people, departments who are impacting or getting impacted because of the problem, right? So you have a representation of that. So that becomes a constitution of the team. Generally, you plus 4 to 5 members in the team is a good composition for a green belt and a black belt project. Okay. Yellow belt, you can have a little less team as well. Now then this is SIPOC. Okay, we are in the define phase. Okay, so they have made a SIPOC out of it. So as we have seen already, what is the in scope, out of scope में हम लोग ने देखा था. So fixing request ticket created, that's the first process, and ready for testing, fixed request ticket ready for testing is the last, and then input and the output. Ideally, because they have done this way, but ideally I would recommend for every step, you write your input and output separately. Okay, they have not done like that, but you can do like this. Okay, even though there is a repetition, write this. Even though the same kind of inputs are there, still you write each and every input separately. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. So this is something which you can follow. Clear hai everybody? So SIPOC is again gives us the boundary, connects inputs and the outputs and the processes, right? Yeah. Clear? Now then as is process map. Now understand this. If you remember, okay, how many of you were present in the Green Belt Hackathon? Just type me in the chat box. How many of you were present in the Green Belt Hackathon? Okay, quite a few. Okay, a lot of you were present. No? Very nice. So I mentioned this twice. Okay, one area where in analysis phase, if you remember, I gave you two what you can say doors. One is process door and there is another data door. Process door is for lean. So whenever you have projects like what you know, what you can say, lead time reduction, whenever time related aspect is a time, so lean tools will be highly applicable. And there I have written as is process mapping was one of the tool which was basically shown there. You remember that? Just give me yes in the chat box. How many of you remember? Yes, value stream map, process map, VA and V analysis. Correct? You remember that? Super, super, super. So here is, so wherever that it is time. So this is bug fixing time, changeover time, cycle time, delivery time, down time. Correct? So whenever there is a time element attached, you can easily use these lean tools like this as is process map. Okay. Everybody is aware of the process map. Just give me yes in the chat box. We will take a separate session on the process map, swim lane process maps, and what are the different types of boxes which are there. Yes, but the basic process map everybody is aware, right? Just give me yes quickly. See, most of you are senior people, so obviously process map is something where basic tool which you guys would be aware of, correct? Very nice. Super, super. Thank you very much for the confirmation. Okay. So in the measure phase, what we do? So what is the objective of measure phase? Type in the chat box, everybody. Chalo, type objective of measure phase. So define phase, we have defined the project's problem statement, goal statement, business case, project charter, team constitution, as is process map, SIPOC. ये सब define phase का हो गया. What is the measure phase objective? Yeah, type in the chat box. What is the objective of measure phase? Yes, very good. Collect the data. Okay, that's good. Measure the data and set the baseline. Fantastic. Collect the data. So the objective of measure phase, of course, yes, that collecting the data, analyzing the trends and patterns of the data, all these things are absolutely right. But the main objective of the measure phase is to use the statistical graphical tools and extract information out of the data and do the process capability analysis. No, root causes goes in the analysis phase. Validation also goes in the analysis phase. Understand this. Root cause identification, validation of the root causes, all this stuff goes in the analysis phase. What is here in this phase is we collect the data and we, from the Minitab software, etc., we find out the trends, patterns, Pareto. Like that's what we have seen in the measure phase of define, what you can say, green belt hackathon, correct? So in the measure phase, the first thing is the data collection plan. Okay, what is data collection plan? How many of you remember operational definition? Who will collect? What will be collected? When? What will the frequency? Where it will be stored? Right? Remember that? Yes. So all this thing, what will you collect? What will be the type of the data, whether it is continuous data, discrete data, what is the operational definition? Okay. Then who will collect, how that will be stored, everything that is called as data collection plan. Okay. So we first define the data, what data needs to be collected. And then, in this plan, we put all the information. Okay. Once that is clearly defined, then people start collecting the data. The team members start collecting the data. Okay. Now, this is similar kind of chart. Yesterday also we did. What was the name of the chart? How many of you remember? Type in the chat box. What was the name of the chart? Minitab में हम लोगों ने निकाला था कल. Chocolate weight वाला यार. Remember chocolate weight? No, it is not scatter plot. Scatter plot is this. Scatter plot was this. You remember this was a scatter plot. Positive, negative correlation के लिए. Exactly. It is a time series plot. How many of you remember? So yesterday yesterday or day before, right? We made it for the chocolate weight. Correct? Yes. Chocolate weight के लिए हम लोग ने बनाया था. Similarly, so we check the peaks and the valleys here, why it is so high, why it is so low. Correct? You can see buck. So these are all buck fixed during that time period. You can see here. And the red line is the average line, a mean line, which is 25.8 days. So from 25, they want to reduce it to somewhere here. Okay. Now there are a lot of data points which are around 15 or below 15. So there is a potential of doing this. Okay. That is absolutely right. So there is a potential. So you can easily do that. Okay. Now time series plot, the name itself says that the performance of the process against the time, that is called time series plot. Performance of the process against the time. Correct? Now, once it is done, then what is this? Yesterday we plotted that as well. Yeah, what is this graph called as? This graph is called as what? Yes, yeah, histogram, histo. Okay, but you're right. Histo meaning it represents the historical data and gram meaning the graph. Correct? And along with that histogram, so in histogram, what do we see? We see the average is around 25. So if I draw a line like this, it would be around 25 marks somewhere here. Okay. Now, along with that, you can see here count is n, number of data points. Mean is the average. Standard deviation, sigma, minimum value is 3. Okay. Maximum value is 50. That means 3 days was the minimum number of days taken to fix the bug, and 55 days was the maximum value taken to fix the bug. Apart from that, 25th percentile, 58th percentile, 75th percentile. Remember everybody? First quartile, second quartile, third quartile, yes or no? Everybody clear about? Yes. So the same thing which is getting repeated. Of course, this was not made in Minitab. It's a different software. Now then 95% confidence interval of mean and sigma. That means with 95% confidence, we are saying that the average of the population will lie between 24.5 to 27. Okay. And as far as sigma is concerned, the standard deviation of the population will lie between 9.7 to 11.5. Okay. And then there is Anderson-Darling normality test, which defines the data is normally distributed or not. So you can see the p-value is 0.3045. Now tell me, is the data normal? Just give me yes or no in the chat box with this p-value in front of you. Is the data normal? And as I said, we will learn how to calculate the p-value manually in the black belt level. Okay. We'll go a little advanced. We'll go a little deep. Yeah. Is this data normal? Just type yes or no. Okay. Yeah. Normal. Okay. Fantastic. That's the right answer, because what is, if you remember, what is the criteria for normal distribution? If the p-value is greater than 0.05, the data is normal. Clear? If the p-value is greater than 0.05, then the data is normal. If it is less than 0.05, then you would see a little bit of skewed distribution, just like this. Now you can see a normal distribution, a symmetrical distribution, right? So this is called normal distribution. Okay. Very good. After that, then we enter into the analysis phase. What is this? Fishbone analysis. Everybody knows it. Of course, we are not going into each and every part of Fishbone because that's their specific domain, specific thing. See, as a consultant, for example, let's try to understand this. As a consultant, when we go to consult an IT company, okay, we teach them man, machine, method, mother nature, material, etc. And we encourage them to find out the causes in each and every bucket. Okay, and because we don't have the domain expertise, right? I'm not from IT. I'm a mechanical and I'm an industrial engineer. Of course, I have experience in a lot of industries, but a domain specific expertise, every domain we cannot have, right? So we have to encourage the domain experts, their team members, to find out as many causes as possible. Okay, so they have identified the causes, and the circled ones seem to be a little critical causes for them. Okay, because see, 80-20 principle applies everywhere. If you found out, let's say 10 causes, I'm just giving you example, 2 to 3 causes will be critical, remaining 7 to 8 causes will be non-critical. Non-critical meaning they would have a very less impact on your problem. But there will be 2 to 3 cases or causes very, very critical for the process, for the problem. Okay, so you can see here, the biggest areas according to them to analyze further is code inspection, delivery to parent branches, and assignment of bug fixing tickets. These are some of the causes, according to them, are the critical ones. We need to go deeper into that. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, along with cause and effect Viva analysis, we have to focus on VA and VA analysis. Okay. On our yesterday's session, I showed you a process map, and on the process map, the VA and NVA was done. Okay. But here, in this case, it was done in a tabular format. Do you remember VA, NVA, VA, NVA, and what was the third one? Type in the chat box. What was the third one? Yes. VA is value added. NVA is non-value added. What was the third one? Yes, Deveji, you are right. Exactly. It is BVA. How many of you remember BVA? What is BVA? What is BVA? Business value add. Correct. Remember that? VA is value add, NVA is non-value add, and BVA is business value. What is business value add? Where customer is not willing to pay for it, but it is essential for the business. Correct? Here, they have VA, NVA, and instead of BVA, they have written NVAR. What is NVAR? Non-value added but required. R for required. Required non-value added is also called as business value added. Are you clear? So here, if you focus their terminology, they have written VA, NVA, and NVAR. NVAR is nothing but BVA only. Clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. So VA, NVA, and BVA, or VA, NVA, and NVAR. Okay, all the things are the same. Clear? Very good. Now, super. Now here, look at C, what they have done. All the process steps from the SIPOC, they have written here. And for every process step, whether it is VA, whether it is NVA, or whether it is BVA or NVAR, they have written. Okay, for example, step number 1 is NVAR. Okay, step number 2, VA. Here it is NVA. Again, here it is NVA. There are 2 NVAs here. And then NVAR. Now, wherever there is NVA, and how much time that step is taking. So you can see here. Now, these breakup generally are in days. You can see here days, right? So, for example, try to understand this. First step is NVAR. It is taking 2 days. Second step is value added, taking 10 days. Third step is value added, taking 1 day. So they are sequential operations. Are you clear? Yes. Have you understood this value added flow analysis? Just give me a yes in the chat box. Just give me a yes. Okay. So the objective is to highlight the non-value add and eliminate them immediately. Okay. See, understand. See, we may not be able to eliminate it 100%, but at least it should be in our focus, and we should try to eliminate as much as possible. Okay. Super. Now, I think, yeah. So let me talk about the root cause hypothesis. Now, if you remember, after fishbone, which is FBD, fishbone diagram, we have the FBD के बाद आता है RCA, right? Root cause analysis. After RCA comes validation. Now, what Lean Six Sigma says, once you identified root causes, now validate them. Before you take solutions, before you take action on them, first validate them whether they are real root causes or just your opinion. Okay. So what we do is we validate them through hypothesis testing, regression, DOE. All these are various methods in which we can generally, check that, validate that. Okay. So this way they have done some kind of, some box plots have done some, statistical analysis also can be a validation. Okay. For example, let me show you a box plot here. Okay. Now, how many of you remember box plot? Just type me in the chat box. How many of you remember box plot? Just type me. Everybody remember box plot? Yes. If you are not remembering, okay, let me quickly remind you. Do you remember when we plotted the chocolate weight wala histogram like this? Chocolate weight wala histogram like this. Below that, there was a plot like this, if you remember, where this was the lowest value, this was the highest value. Remember that? Just type me in the chat box. This was the first quartile, Q1, this was Q2, and this was Q3. Quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. Yes, below histogram, exactly. Okay. Now the same has been made vertical. If I make it vertical, it will look like this. So why box plots are so important? Because we can compare multiple processes at, in one shot. For example, you can see here. Just look at this. Okay. Now we may not be able to read it out, but let's say this is process number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay. Let's say this is the average line. This is average time for process 1. This is process 2. This is process 3, process 4. Now tell me, what is the highest variation and highest average process? Very simple. Very simple. You can identify process number 2. Correct? Yes or no? So if you plot it in the box plot, you can easily identify. Okay. And you can see here, the highest value has gone something around more than 40. So second process step can take up to 40 days sometimes. And that's the biggest, what you can say, area of focus. Yes, that's the biggest area of focus. Yes or no? So box plot ka ye advantage hai. You can plot it and instantaneously you will get the realization, okay, where we should be actually focusing. Okay. Now, let me share. So once the validation is done, then in improve phase again, this is all briefly we are basically, okay. How do we generate solutions? How do we generate solutions in improve phase? Type in the chat box. How do we generate solutions in improve phase? What are the tools do we use to generate solutions? Ideas? Type in the chat box, everybody. Yes. Very good. Brainstorming. That's right. What else? Scamper. No, vibe analysis for the root causes. Now the root causes is done, validation is done. After validation, we are identifying the solutions. Okay. So what different tools we use? Brainstorming we use Scamper. When we go to when we go to the what do you say, black belt level, we have given other tools. For example, 6 thinking hats we can use. We can use trees. Trees is also very good methodology. We can use differential diagnosis, or there are so many other, the reverse brainstorming. There are so many tools we use in the improve phase of the black belt. Okay. Once we generate the solution, then something like EB metrics. How many of you remember EB metrics? Effort benefit metrics. Yesterday we covered that. Just type yes in the chat box. Correct? Effort benefit matrix. That is to reduce the number of solutions, number of ideas. Okay. There is another method called 6 by 3 by 5 method. By using the 6 by 3 by 5 method, you can generate more than 100 ideas within 30 minutes. You can generate more than 100 different ideas within 30 minutes. So this is all covered in our black belt level, and you can refer to the masterclass archive as well if you wish. Okay. So once the ideas are generated, then we reduce the ideas by prioritization. Okay. So this is one way of prioritizing. This is the weight criteria. Okay. Weightage criteria prioritization matrix. Okay. You can use either this or the effort benefit matrix. I would rather go for effort benefit matrix. It's a simple and effective way to communicate. Okay. Then this is the 2B process map. 2B meaning futuristic process map after eliminating non-value added and the bottleneck processes. Okay, this is a future. So first is as is, and this is the future process map. Okay. And after implementing solution, you can see the same time series plotted in this fashion. Okay. So you can see a clear-cut reduction in the bug fixing timeline. 25 days was brought down, significantly. Let us see how much significantly different they have reduced. You can see here, this is the improved histogram, and you can see 100 data points they have taken, and average bug fixing time is 15.6 days. So from 25.8, they have reduced to 15.6, very close to the target. Of course, as good as they have hit the target. Okay. Then again, the same thing, percentile, quartile, etc., etc., etc. And again, it is a normal distribution as well. So there is no skewness. See, when the process is normal and stable, that means there is no special cause variation present. It's a normal behavior of the process. And that's the best thing to have. Are you understanding this? Yeah. If it is not normal, then there is something fishy, something wrong. If the data is not normal, if data is not stable, correct? In this case, the data is normal and showing around 15.6 days ka average. Okay, that's the very good thing. Then the control phase, if you remember, control phase is all about the sustenance. Okay, so here there is a control plan. If you remember, we make where there is a monitoring plan and there is a response plan. If during monitoring of your output and input variable, there is some deviation happens, there's some deviation is found, then immediately a response plan gets triggered. People will take action, immediately call for the meeting, do the corrective preventive actions, root cause analysis, and fix that variation challenge and take the process to normalcy. So this is the monitoring and response plan happens in the control phase. Okay. And after that is the project closure. So what is project closure? Project closure is the official closing of the project. See, project is a limited time entity, correct? So project team members become member of that for that project for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, etc. And after that, you have to close the project officially with the management approval and hand it over to the process owners. Okay. In that case, you need to basically share what are the lessons you have learned, Okay, for example, continuous communications to avoid surprises, open-minded attitude, process gives false sense of security like code inspection. So these are very specific, domain-specific lessons. Okay, be sure give credit to everyone. Okay, who came up with good idea. Okay, because credit is free. That's a very good realization, right? See, appreciation is free. Appreciation has to be done as much as possible. Okay, and what is the customer impact you have, and what are the final calculations? So ultimately, you can make a PowerPoint presentation and a A3 report about your project and display it on the dashboard or the display board so that people can easily see what was the project, what was the root cause, what was the solution, what is the impact. Okay, in one page itself, you can make a Word document to document this entire journey so that that can be referred in the future, that can be kept in the repository. Repository is a collection of the documents where you can, for the future point of view, that can be referred as well. Okay. So see, if you see similar kinds of multiple project case studies, one realization will happen to you that whether it is IT company, whether it is banking company, manufacturing, insurance, or oil and gas, or aviation, or BPO, or pharma, the entire structure, the tools are absolutely common. And another realization will happen is there are 15 to 20 tools. If you master those, you become master in Lean Six Sigma. Okay. Now, if you remember, in our green belt first section itself, I have spoken about certain tools to master and certain tools you should be aware of. Okay. If you go through that session, you will realize that if we focus only on this much of Lean Six Sigma tools, we should be able to easily become master in the subject of Lean Six Sigma. Yes, let me see if anything else is there. Yes. So are you clear with this simple but very effective case study of IT? Even most of us are not from IT background, still we can connect with the case study because we were connecting through the bridge of DMAC. Okay, whether it is IT or BPO or KPO or whatever, this bridge will remain common. And that is the major enlightenment for us, that we can take this DMAC framework, go to any industry and absolutely solve the problem. Yes, super clear. So with this, we will close the session today. Okay, we have a session for the consulting business launch people, which is starting just from now around 8 p.m. Okay, so you guys also can join that session. In that session, we are going to speak about the niche clarity, how you can find out niche while entering into the market. Okay, very, very important. Yes. Solar company ka bhi, yes, we will definitely plan a solar company project as well. Okay, solar ka maybe panel manufacturing वगैरह कुछ हम लोग case study लेके आएंगे. ठीक है? Superb. Yes. Super. Thank you very much for joining in. I'll see you in the other session as well. If you are interested, please join. That will be a great learning experience for you. Okay. Bye bye. Take care. I'll see you again in around 5 minutes from now. Bye bye. Take care. हाँ, बिस्किट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बताएंगे. I have worked in Parle-G, by the way, as a consultant, of course, and I can share that with you. Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.